All right, we're out here on another Saturday morning, really early. There's the sunrise just coming up, and we're in the bay here outside of Cedar Point. I got my pants on today because we've been coming out lately and the black flies have been killing me. We're gonna go after some walleye today. All right, I know we're fishing today, but Jesus, I gotta really stop and take that in for a second. Look at that, boys. Simply amazing. Pretty decent sized rollers out here today. Not too bad though, once we get set up. Another look at the sunrise. I love it out here. All right, we're cruising to a spot, but I think I'm gonna set up here. We got a line of fish. You can see down there, right at that 20 to 25 foot line. Now the setup is we use the trolling motor over here as our rudder and our autopilot. So I have a route set up that this will follow, hooked in through my Garmin. And you can see the shuttle slide here that I installed. It allows me to slide the motor out a little further than it would normally go. And then we deploy it like so, and it's locked in, and that's ready to go. Now let's get the route set up. Oh yeah, lots of good marks down there. I had to power off and power on the trolling motor. All right, now the way my motor works is I have a trolling motor setting on here, and once you engage it, it allows me to control how fast my speed is. So right now the front trolling motor here, the Garmin Kraken, is working as a rudder, and it's steering me towards my route that I have set up. And then I've got my trolling motor here in the back, which I want to straighten out so it's not fighting it. That's going to keep my main speed for me, which currently is at 2.5 miles an hour, which is where we want to be. So now we just got to get set up on the fishing. So what I'm going to do is, on my outside rods on this side over here, it's going to be this one, I'm going to set up for a dipsy diver. All right, so let's check it out. Now the one thing with dipsies, I had a video on this, you want to make sure that, since this is on what's considered the left side, when you look forward it's on the left side, you want to make sure you have a left side dipsy diver right here. And we're going to check this leader. For some reason lately I've had some short leaders creep in here, and I don't know why. Now for me, I know that I've measured this. If I stretch my arms out, all right, that's about a 5-foot leader. It should be okay, maybe a little bit more. Give it a little tug here just to get some of the little kinks out. Right now we're going to take the cover off. I put these covers on because when I put them in the truck, I don't want the eyes getting all banged up. Now this particular rod, it extends. So this one here, I got to make sure I extend it out and lock it in. And then you take that. Now on the dipsies, we connect the main line to this back here. This goes to the True Trip. All right, and then we got to pick the volunteer of the day. Let's see, who wants to come out and play? I'm gonna say a NASCAR on the outside here. We'll see how that goes. This one's pretty beat up with the fish it caught, so I'm gonna go with a battle-tested volunteer, and that's pretty much it for the dipsy. Now you have to set the True Trip right here. Turn the clicker off. You wind it up about a foot or so from the top. And if you remember from my calibration video, right, that's how we know that once we let this out, it's going to be true. So I open it up. Now with the dipsies, you got to make sure that when you set these things out, that they're planing away from the boat. Oh, see, I tripped it already. So that ain't good. Gotta try it again. This is what happens with these. It's a love-hate thing, because you don't want it too tight because it won't trip, and you don't want it too loose because it trips every damn time. So let this out, let it start planing away from the boat. You got to watch it, and then you let it out, and the fish are at 25 feet. So we're gonna do 53, 43. Now the trick here is you got to get this close to where you want to set it, because if you don't and you get it in there, you're going to trip it. Oh, see, I just tripped it. That's what I'm talking about. So I may have to set this a little bit harder. That's what happens with these things. You gotta, first thing in the morning, you got to get this set. So I'm going to give this just a little bit of a turn to tighten this up. And the way you do that is there's a screw right here. Oh yeah, that's set way low. All right. All right. And then you do it again. All right, so we got the dipsy set, and that's out there, and we're fishing. So on this one, I'm going to do a True Trip 50 on the inside, and we're going to do a worm harness. So today, let's see what we got going on here. We're going to use this one right there. So we're going to take this bad boy off the pool noodle. There's the other hook. All right, get that ready. Now with this one, we're going to get this rod and put this on this middle one here. It's going to be slightly angled down, not too much, but just a little bit. I got a feeling the meat is going to be the ticket for today. See how I wrap this around there using the True Trip as a holder. Alright, again, gonna check this. That's a little bit short on the leader. So since we're putting a worm harness on, we can get away with short, because the worm harness is about 2 feet. So the worm harness plus the short leader is gonna make up for the short leader on the front end. That's okay, but if I switch over to a spoon, I got to swap that leader out for sure. All right, then we got to check for a volunteer on the worm bucket. I didn't have time to wash the worms this morning, so this is going to be a mess. I'll try to keep it in the container, but that's going to be a stretch. We got the worm on. Now for this one, this is a True Trip 50. I got to use my worm harness, and that means I got to use the app, Precision Trolling app. So we're going to do True Trip. We want to be down about 25 feet. Dial this back 38. So we want to be down about 38 feet. All right, so I set the True Trip. Get everybody deployed. Again, you want to wind this up to about a foot. Reset your counter. Get everything in the water and let it go down. And you want to get positioned with these things, because like I said on the dipsy, you don't want to trip it while you're trying to get it all set, which can get a little bit tricky. All right, we got 2 rods in the water. Now over here, we want to make sure we pick a right side dipsy. That's set to a 3 setting. Rod holder set. Click this, deploy the longer rod. Now the reason these are longer is because I typically run them on the outside, and when you do that, you want them sitting out a little bit further from the rest of them. Now, generally, you can run the same rod length, all of them, but if you're running dipsies, folks have told me online and otherwise not to do that. Now this one here, this leader on the dipsy, I'm going to run a spoon, and it's not even 5 feet, so we're going to definitely swap this baby out. Put this on the short spool. Don't have anything yet. There's definitely fish down there. It's about 6:52. Took me a little while to get out here because I'm where I'm going, but it's still pretty early. No bites yet. And that's going to be my nemesis for the day. I got to get that bag locked up because I have lost too much shit. All right, let's get this dipsy going over here. I had some trouble on this side. So were the boys when they were here. On this side, where with this dipsy in particular, where it would tangle a little bit and get twisted. And so I'm going to try a different deployment method on this one. Let's see, who wants to volunteer this morning? Let's try some yellow jeans. Bring it up, reset the counter. All right, now I'm going to put it in here. We're going to put the clicker on. I'm going to let it deploy that way. That'll keep it from spooling. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. All right, so we're still fishing. It's only been about 5 minutes with these set. Excellent marks on the sonar, but I raised everything up a little bit on this side. I'm going to run this side a little bit more shallow, and over there that one a little deeper. Not by much, but just a few feet, just to see if I can get something to trigger. So I'm going to check this dipsy here. There's certain little subtle things that you pick up on. On this one, it looked like there was a huge hit on it, and then it just kind of backed off. Now I was able to trip it, and I don't really feel anything on here, but when you see stuff like that, you definitely want to check it, and there's why, right? That is a white bass, which I'm not going to keep today. But you can see those little subtle marks. You don't want to be dragging these things. Nope, there's a bite right there on the worm harness. And almost ran into a fishing net earlier today, which is not good. All right, it's a bad situation here. I'm being remiss with my net skills. Oh, I think he just came off, and that's my fault. Trying to get the net. Lost him. Get the damn net set in the morning. General rule is sheephead don't come off while I do, and that's tripped over there. So let's check that one first. Yep, we're dragging one. What are we dragging? Little baby walleye. All right, so we got something on here. Let's see what we got. All right, we got a candidate walleye here making his first appearance. Let's see if we can net this bad boy. We are on the board, boys. I think. This one's going to be close. Oh, he's 15. So he's in the box. Barely. Oh, there's another one on here. Let's check this one. This is on the worm harness. This is what happens when you're on your own. You gotta juggle a bunch of shit all at the same time, like getting the net ready from the previous one and not lose this one. Alright, we'll get that out in the water. Alright, let's get this fish in. And looks like another white bass. Oh man, see, this is why you always wash your worms. Look. That's why you wash the worms. Oh, there's a bite. Yep, too small. Goes back to grow another day. All right, we got one on here, I think. All right, he's in the net. That's a keeper, for sure. Got him on the dipsy NASCAR. I usually do checks about every 15 minutes. Got 3 more minutes here on that dipsy on the starboard side. 69, what the frick? All right, we're gonna have to change that. Now the reason I'm doing the clicker, I've been doing that for a little while. I was getting some tangles on the dipsy, letting it out with my thumb like this. And decided to try this. This is a method some folks have mentioned to me to do. And I haven't had one yet. So, seems to be okay. And just as I said yellow jeans, I'm gonna check it. It freaking tripped. So let's see what the deal is with this. Yeah, I'm not even gonna measure this guy. He can fall off whenever you want, buddy. You are definitely too small. Come on. Get off there. See, that's what happens. Sitting here talking shit about yellow jeans, just as I'm gonna take it off, and he comes up with a fish, but small. Oh, there's a bite. That looks like a walleye. That's a keeper in the boat. NASCAR strikes again. 17 plus. You're definitely on the plate. We finished up the day probably in about 3 hours. Caught our limit. I fished on for a little bit. We averaged probably 17, 18 to 22, 23. Caught our limit, and then the bite died. So I fished for probably an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer, and then yeah, decided to call it quits. The marina's having a customer appreciation day today, so I'm gonna go get cleaned up, throw these fish on ice, and then join in on that. Hope you liked the video today. Catching a few walleye, learned a couple things. See you out on the lake.